want you to record in the house?
Yes. So I did.
But it was your house.
Yes, our house. So, I mean, I know he's explained it 1,000 different ways online. He has documented our entire divorce on the Simon Show online, and then I have the Housewives, I suppose. But, yeah, there is paperwork in place that would make it a marital property 50-50 split. Outside of that being enforced, it is a premarital property or whatever.
Y'all, if you thought the drama with Porsha Williams and Simon Gobadia couldn't get any messier, think again. Because now we're not just talking about relationship problems, we're talking about eviction, legal issues, and a whole public image crashing down right in front of us. Let's get straight to it. Porsha is being told by the court that she has to move out of the mansion she's been living in. Yes, that same glamorous Buckhead home she used to show off on social media, the one that made her and Simon look like they were living their best life. But behind the pretty pictures and lavish parties was a truth nobody wanted to talk about. The bills weren't being paid.
One thing about me and my fans do respect, I'm transparent. So even though it didn't turn out the story that I wanted to share, I still was open with what I had.
According to court documents, that mansion had been under foreclosure for a while, even before the divorce news became public. Simon was reportedly warned several times that he needed to catch up on the mortgage payments or risk losing the house. But instead of handling it, the notices were ignored. Now the bank is stepping in, and so is the court. Here's where things get even more real. The house isn't in Porsha's name. So even though she's been living there, hosting events, and presenting it as her own, she has no legal rights to it. Simon is the owner, and now that they're getting divorced, he's asking the court to force her out. He says he already gave her 30 days to move out and even offered help with relocating, but since she didn't leave, he's asking for a court order to make it official.
But just because you're going through a divorce doesn't mean you hate someone. I hate actions, I hate lies, I hate a lot of characteristics, but I love the person, and I would never wish harm on anybody. And at the end of the day, I know that he's the type of person, he's a slithering snake. He's gonna find his way out of it, I'm sure he'll be fine.
That's not just about losing a home, it's about losing part of her identity. That house was a symbol of her new life with Simon. It added to the image of wealth, love, and success. Now, with a foreclosure on the table and her ex-husband pushing for eviction, the image she built is falling apart publicly. And financially? It's a nightmare.
We've been divorcing now through this process for a whole year. And, it's caught up with what I had to do. So like emotionally, I feel like I'm ready to be done with it. I'm ready to heal, ready to move on.
Now, finding a new place in a hurry, dealing with lawyers, and possibly battling Simon in court, all of that takes time and money. Add that to the fact that Simon's own financial situation seems unstable, and this story just keeps unraveling. Let's talk about Simon for a minute. One day he's flying private jets and smiling in designer clothes, and the next he's at the center of multiple legal issues. First, he allegedly stopped paying the mortgage on the mansion. That's a huge red flag, especially for someone who claims to be wealthy. If you really have millions, why are the banks threatening to take your home? Then there's the courtroom drama. While most people try to avoid court, Simon is requesting that all divorce hearings be handled in person. No Zoom, no remote appearances, he wants Porsha there face to face. Some people think it's a tactic to drag things out or make her uncomfortable. Others think he wants to control the situation and get a better read on her reactions. On top of that, there are reports that Simon is facing immigration problems. There's talk that Immigration and Customs Enforcement is involved. Details are unclear, but if his legal status in the U.S. is in question, that's a whole different layer of stress. If his finances, his papers, and his relationship were all shaky, what kind of future was Porsha really stepping into? It begs the question, was Porsha ever really in control in this relationship? Or was she just along for the ride while Simon made all the moves behind the scenes? And now we get to the latest twist. Porsha doesn't want to show up to court in person. Her lawyers filed a motion asking for her to be allowed to attend the June 11th hearing virtually via Zoom. They said she's dealing with emotional stress, has scheduling conflicts, and that it would be easier for her to join remotely.
I just feel like in any relationship, especially mine, I I thought we had the best communication. Like, I was so proud of how we communicated. Like, that's a part of what made me trust him. I have been harmed by men in my past, and in many ways. And so it's hard for me to trust. It's hard for me to like truly love. And so people will look at him and look at me and be like, I don't understand the correlation. It must be the money. How? I already had a lot of the stuff that I have now then anyway.
They even mentioned that her witness is only available online too. Simon is not okay with that. He's demanding that everything happen in person. And legally speaking, that could be a power play. If he thinks she's avoiding the room because she's nervous or trying to dodge certain questions, showing up in person gives him the advantage. Body language, tone of voice, eye contact, all of that matters in court. Now let's talk about this international job opportunity Porsha says she has. Her legal team mentioned that she might not even be in the country during the hearing because of work. But they didn't give any details. No company name. No job title. Nothing that actually proves it's a real job. A lot of people are raising their eyebrows like, what kind of job is this, and why is it so secretive? Especially since influencing doesn't really require you to be overseas full-time. Add in the fact that her key witness can only attend by Zoom, and it's starting to feel more like a strategy than a coincidence. Some folks think she's stalling, hoping that if she delays things long enough, Simon's situation with ICE might blow up and help her case. Others believe she's just avoiding being grilled in court. Either way, it's getting messier by the day. Now let's address the online chaos. Content creators are beefing over who reported the story first, who had the real tea, and who's just making things up. Some people are ignoring court documents and verified receipts to push a softer version of the story. Others are going all in, digging into Simon's background, including some shady business deals back in Nigeria that may explain why the bills weren't being paid in the first place. To make matters worse, some YouTubers are copying each other's content without giving credit. They're taking the court docs, the ICE scoop, and the financial drama and acting like they uncovered it all themselves. And while everyone wants to be first, it's important to stick to facts. Because when people start bending the truth, it just confuses the audience and buries the real story. At the end of the day, whether you're a Porsha fan or not, you have to admit this is a tough moment. Losing your home, going through a divorce, and having your personal business out in the open is a lot. And while she's smiling online, we don't know what she's dealing with behind closed doors. This kind of public fallout can also affect her career. Brands and networks watch everything. If they see too much mess, foreclosures, court battles, immigration rumors, they might pull back from working with her. Porsha built her image on elegance, wealth, and power. But now that image is cracking, and everyone's watching it happen in real time. And maybe that's the bigger lesson here. What looks perfect on Instagram isn't always what it seems. Porsha and Simon gave us a fairy tale. But behind the filters was a relationship full of problems. Clout doesn't pay mortgages. Chemistry doesn't fix legal trouble. And luxury means nothing if it's not backed by something real. So now it's your turn. Is Porsha being smart and playing the legal game right? Or is she just trying to avoid the mess she helped create? Phew, y'all, this whole situation with Porsha Williams just keeps getting deeper. What started out looking like a fairy tale romance has turned into a full-blown public mess. We've gone from wedding bells and mansion tours to court orders, foreclosure notices, and questions about what's real and what's just for show. Now that the court has officially told Porsha to leave the house, it's a hard reality check. That Buckhead mansion wasn't just a home, it was part of her image. She built this whole lifestyle with Simon that looked picture perfect online. But the truth is, she didn't even legally own the home. And now, with Simon allegedly behind on payments and foreclosure already in motion, she's being told to pack her bags and go. Simon claims he gave her a 30-day window to move out and even offered help. Since she didn't leave, he's asking the court to force her out. And let's be real, this isn't just about property. It's about power, image, and control. And it's all playing out in front of the public. Then we've got Porsha asking to appear via Zoom at their upcoming divorce hearing. Her team says it's due to stress and a scheduling conflict, but Simon isn't having it. He wants everything to happen in person. It's giving courtroom chess moves at this point. Every decision feels strategic. And let's not forget Simon's own issues. From financial trouble to rumored immigration problems, he's not exactly standing on solid ground either. That raises a lot of questions. Did Porsha know? Was she ignoring the red flags? Or was she just caught up in the lifestyle, not realizing what was really going on behind the scenes? All of this is now putting a dent in her brand. Porsha built her name on being glamorous, successful, and unbothered. But with the foreclosure, court dates, and all the legal drama, her image is taking a big hit. And in the world of celebrity branding, perception is everything. At the end of the day, this isn't just gossip, it's a real woman going through a very public breakdown of her marriage, her finances, and maybe even her reputation. Whatever side you're on, it's hard not to feel for her. So now I want to hear from y'all. Do you think Porsha is being smart with how she's handling this? Or is this just damage control on a situation that's already gotten out of hand? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss the next update. Because trust me, this tea is still brewing and we'll be here to sip every drop. Until next time, stay tuned and stay real.